Welcome to the Robbins Regional Wrap, your one-stop shop for all your Houston County news. I'm Megan Western. Now, each week we're taking you through what's happening in Houston County, Warner Robins, Robbins Air Force Base, and your very own neighborhood.
We're doing well as a country, so the last thing we want to do is shut it down, but a lot of good can come down from shutdowns. We can get rid of a lot of things that we didn't want, and they'd be Democrat things.
On the last day of September, the president signaled that his administration was willing to deal with the government shutdown. Elizabeth Hunter looked into what a shutdown would impact.
With uncertainty looming, the countdown to midnight is more than just a deadline.
It's really a tough time.
It's an impact on people's livelihood.
How long will it be this time?
Alonzo Sermons is an Army veteran. Although the current shutdown would not impact his veterans' benefits, he worries about those who aren't as lucky.
I'm not a big fan of the impact that it has on families who are serving our country.
Civilian workers at Robbins Air Force Base could be sent home without pay, and others, including service members, will be required to work without receiving paychecks. This will be the first federal shutdown in 7 years, but there have been over 20 shutdowns since 1980. Sermons says this is becoming way too frequent.
It's attached to what we call politics. It's hard to take serious, one side fighting against the next side.
Base workers aren't the only ones who will be affected. TSA agents and air traffic controllers at Middle Georgia Regional Airport will have to work without pay. National parks and historic sites like the Ocmulgee Mounds National Historical Park will close, and federal programs like WIC and SNAP that provide food to over 1 million people in Georgia could also be threatened if the shutdown lasts. Sermons says the shutdown threat really impacts mental health.
These are real things in the lives of people. So when they're challenged by that already, and now you have this affecting their finances, it really increases anxiety.
In Warner Robins, Elizabeth Hunter, 13 WMAZ News.
Local projects funded by FEMA also take a hit. Projects like pre-disaster planning by Macon Bibb EMA or infrastructure upgrades like the stormwater management efforts around Warner Robins. Now, we are several days into the first government shutdown now since early 2019. Some government offices are empty and thousands of federal workers are at home. Families and businesses in Central Georgia are preparing for challenges that could lie ahead if the shutdown lasts for a long period of time. Elizabeth Hunter talked to several people who aren't sure what the long-term impacts could mean for them.
Depend on federal operations at Robbins Air Force Base.
We felt it a little bit.
The city grew up around the base, which is the largest employer in Houston County.
We're right across the base, and it's a base city.
Sarah Hazelton is manager at Greg's 2.0, a restaurant right across Highway 247 from the base. This will be their first shutdown since opening. Hazelton says Business Wednesday was slower than normal because lots of their customers are military, but they are remaining positive.
If the base does affect us that much, that the community will pull through and come help us out.
So far, Hazelton isn't sure how it's going to affect them in the long run, but some active duty and reserve service members say they are already feeling the effects. Seth Graham has been a Coast Guard reservist for 16 years. He remembers the last time the government shut down.
It was pretty bad on the Coast Guard. It was really bad for the active duty members who still, had to report to duty for every day. A lot of those active duty members actually did not receive pay.
2018 was the longest shutdown in U.S. history at 35 days and lasted into 2019. Graham says he got a message this morning saying he should still report for his weekend of training this month despite the shutdown. He says that gives him hope that this won't last long.
From what I can tell right now, it doesn't really look like an impact for us. There's still a mission that's got to be done. Obviously everybody wants to be paid, and we will be paid, but we've got to go do our job.
Graham isn't sure what the long-term impacts could be, but he says he will continue to serve his country no matter the circumstances. In Warner Robins, Elizabeth Hunter, 13 WMAZ News.
Now, all branches of the military are considered essential during a government shutdown. That means they still have to show up to work and do their jobs, even if they don't get paid right away. Now, the shutdown is expected to last into next week, with leaders breaking for Yom Kippur. Now, local officials are starting to prepare for a long federal funding freeze. Elizabeth Hunter talked to two of them about the possible ripple effects.
The pains have started, but there is no cure in sight.
Individuals who may not be getting a paycheck, that's devastating to their whole entire lifestyle.
Warner Robins Mayor LaRhonda Patrick says she knows how much the city's economy relies on the base and what this shutdown means for everyone.
I'm an Air Force brat, and we have a community that's made up of a lot of individuals who have somehow touched federal government.
Patrick says the city is prepared to help.
We are relaxing some of our policies when it comes to the payment of utilities fees.
While the shutdown lasts, the city will waive utility late fees and delay cutoffs for federal government employees and their families.
Individuals who are late or not able to pay because of the federal government shutdown, they will not be impacted.
Houston County Chairman Dan Perdue says the base is the county's #1 employer, so they are doing what they can to prepare as well.
We have a blueprint for how to help address some of those community needs.
He says the county is looking into several partnerships to take care of people if the shutdown lasts.
We're working alongside the 21st Century Partnership. We're working alongside Robins Air Force Base and figuring out ways that we can support our citizens in their time of need if it goes on that long.
The last federal government shutdown lasted 35 days, so Perdue says they are also making sure food banks are stocked. In Warner Robins, Elizabeth Hunter, 13 WMAZ News.
Now, according to the Georgia Department of Labor, over 100,000 Georgians are furloughed or working without pay during the shutdown. Those furloughs have led to closures all across central Georgia. The Museum of Aviation in Warner Robins, for example, says that it'll remain shut until further notice. Now, aerospace company Keomac is almost ready to open its brand new center in Warner Robins, part of a $7 million Air Force contract. The city broke ground last year with promises of new jobs and long-term support for Robins Air Force Base. Now they expect construction to wrap up next month. Jasmine Lee takes us inside and explains how this project could shape the area's economy for years to come.
The gentle hum of paint rollers and construction signals the final push to finish the new Keomac facility here in Warner Robins.
This is going to be cubicle space for most of our engineers.
Inside floors are finished and the walls are up. This 50,000 square foot building is part of a larger 130,000 square foot complex expected to bring at least 75 full-time jobs. CEO Keho King says the focus will be on building medical composites and electrical parts used in aircraft systems around the world.
There are a couple of unmanned aerial vehicles that we're designing and testing at this point. We're designing these things so if the military needs it, we can produce at very high capacity.
The company has already started early hiring for roles like machinist, composite techs, and wiring specialists. They plan to grow the workforce further through partnerships with local technical colleges.
Those are the core jobs that we need, and we already are doing some of that work, so we're beginning to hire those people into the company, and we'll be continuing to work with the technical colleges to make sure that we have trained personnel that can operate these machines.
This expansion comes as Robins Air Force Base continues to drive the local economy, pumping nearly $3.85 billion into Georgia in 2023. That's a 7.5% increase from the year before. Keomac also added a helicopter pad, hoping to one day attract military helicopter maintenance work.
If we build it, they'll come. Field of dreams kind of idea.
So while the walls are up and the paint is drying, the real work is just beginning, both inside the factory and in the future of Middle Georgia's growing hub for military manufacturing. Reporting in Warner Robins, Jasmine Lee, 13 WMAZ News.
Now, we're told it'll take about a year to bring in all of the manufacturing equipment. Some of the items will have a long ordering time. And this week, the Georgia National Fair started up. Naomi Washington met up with some of the Houston County High School Future Farmers of America students and shows us how it takes a year-long effort for them to prepare for the fair.
I'm really excited. I'm really happy to hopefully see all the work that I put in this summer pay off.
FFA Vice President and sophomore Haley Bowman says the recipe for success in this group is a good attitude and work ethic, something she's displayed over the last few months.
And you really just have to make sure that you're on a consistent walking schedule, they're eating right, and drinking a lot of water and things like that.
Step by step, from leading their cows through the barn to making sure they're well fed, these students are building habits that go beyond the show ring. These cows are full of personality, and through this week at the fair, they will shine. Freshman Maya Alford owns this cow, Maggie.
Ever since I was a little kid, I've always loved going outside and playing with animals and stuff like that. And it's also like a really good thing to do.
On weekdays, the students are here after school, and on weekends, they're here before 8 a.m., putting in the time to make sure their animals are ready.
It's teaching you responsibility, and it's helping you become a better showman.
From early mornings to evening walks, these students are proving success in the ring doesn't just happen. It's earned step by step.
Now you can catch the students in action at the fair this week. They'll be showing cattle in the Agri Center all week long. Many other school FFA programs will be there as well. Now it was a beautiful first day of the start of the 36th annual Georgia National Fair. The rides were moving, the food was on point, and the fairgoers were ready for some fun. Governor Kemp even made an appearance to help kick off the start of Paradise.
Our state, just like this country, has deep roots in agriculture. It is not only Georgia's #1 industry, it is an industry that impacts all others and built America.
Now at the fair, you can celebrate the state's largest industry. There are plenty of livestock shows where students and young farmers compete among the best of the best. But the fair is also a place to, have some fun. The rides were busy, the paths were packed, and it was only the first day that you're seeing right here. From magician shows to hundreds of fair food vendors, and of course, the wild Nerveless Knocks.
The Nerveless Knocks take a lot of pride in having American-themed shows, and we always like to show a tribute to our country, so it's great that we get to do that with the Knocks, and it aligns with the fair this year, and we get to really promote America, and that we're blessed to live here.
Well, the first day is always a special treat, even if you've been coming for years or if it's your first time.
This is my first time coming on the first day, so that was really good. It wasn't a lot of traffic. It was cool. We got straight in, got to it. Went to the food first because we got to eat, of course. And then we got some really good food, some good cheesesteaks.
I'm going to have to try the cheesesteaks this year. If you're planning to go, here's a big reminder for you. You don't want to skip the Georgia Living Competition. You can check out some amazing statewide artwork there. Naomi Washington visited while other organizers finished setting up.
6 days out from the fair's opening, student groups from across Georgia traveled to the Miller Murphy Howard building on the fairgrounds to get set up. Crawford County High School's Future Farmers of America chapter built a display taller than them. Vice President Parker Barrett says their theme, Growing Leadership, is personal.
We're going to have our baby pictures at the bottom, and we're going to have it where we're growing up as the tree with our pictures now on the top of it. So that way it'll show our growth as leadership to where we are now.
Before the fair's opening, judges will grade this art and all the other pieces, but they're all left on display for the entire fair. Addie Hodges says student projects aren't the only eye candy they have to offer.
From paintings to photography, woodworking, and then during the fair we have live things going on as far as like live painting. We even have an area for kids to come in and decorate ornaments for Christmas time.
This year, the fair is celebrating America 250, so many pieces will be patriotic and honor heroes.
I feel like it's awesome that we get to show from where we're at, our perspective, to everybody here coming to the Georgia National Fair.
You may end up parking by the building that looks normal on the outside, but on the inside features thousands of home and fine arts pieces made by talented Georgians.
Now, of course, if you have a ticket to the fair, this is one of the things that you can see. They have over 9,000 pieces of art in that building. Now, if you want to enjoy the rides at the fair, you have a few options. You can buy individual ride tickets there. They're sold at 2 for $3, 12 tickets for $12, 26 tickets for $24, and 65 tickets for $60. Most of the rides will take anywhere from 2 to 8 tickets, so the price will definitely depend on which rides you choose. Now, if you're wondering when you can use those armbands instead of using tickets, there are only certain days when you can use them. Armband days are October the 3rd and 4th. Go ahead and take a look at your screen. Then they're the 7th and 8th, the 9th and 11th, and the 13th. This year, armbands cost $30, giving you unlimited rides for the day. Now, when it comes to safety and security, the fair says all bags must be clear. Your bag should be smaller than 12 by 6 by 12, but if your bag is wallet size or smaller, it's not required to be clear. There are, of course, some exceptions for diaper bags and medical bags. There's also a curfew, so keep that in mind. After 5 each day, kids 17 and under will not be allowed inside the fairgrounds without a legal guardian. Now, another part that many people look forward to each year is the concerts. Concerts happen at 7:30 at night on the Georgia National Stage. There's a list of them for you. Looks like Friday, October the 3rd, they're going to have George Berg. Then on Thursday, October the 9th, they have The Fray. Friday, October the 10th, Tracy Lawrence. So lots of people that you can catch out there on the stage. Now, what's your tie to Robins Air Force Base? A military relative, or maybe you're a civilian worker there yourself? Well, we're introducing you to an airman whose tie dates back to the beginning. I take you behind the lines to share the surprising family connection. After years of coaching football, Captain Jacob Mathis turned his mentorship and teaching skills towards the military.
I've fallen in love with service and just what it provides and does for the country, and it just gives you a sense of purpose that you can't get anywhere else.
Service is in his blood. No surprise with his family history.
2 great uncles and then 1 uncle, all 3 had served.
But the surprise comes through this book, gifted to him by his grandmother, revealing a deep history.
On the first page here, it's kind of got written out his career, Uncle Steve.
As Mathis read about his Uncle Steve's assignments, one name leaped off the pages.
Colonel Thomas, like every single page.
Colonel Charles Thomas, the base's first commander, Mathis's great-great-uncle.
So I called my grandma and she was like, oh yeah, like I knew it was a big deal, but I didn't think much of it.
A big deal, no doubt. A connection he was grateful to find.
I need to perform really well here to continue the tradition. You know, it's a lot of pressure, but it felt good.
Thomas oversaw the creation of the base right after Pearl Harbor.
This is Colonel Thomas here as a cadet early on in his career, and this is General Warner Robins.
He tackled major housing shortages and led a crew of more than 6,000. Generations later, Mathis's work is similar, overseeing 7 building construction projects and training and leading crews ahead of deployment.
I'm trying to follow in the footsteps of a giant.
Now, as Mathis walks the halls of Building 220, the same one where his uncle worked, these photos mean much more, leaving him with many questions.
I'd love to talk to him kind of about his career, how he made decisions he made.
And a lesson for the future.
Always being on top of your game, making sure you're representing the Air Force well, your family well, those type things, because you never know what connection may spring up, surprise.
Now, Mathis's plans haven't much changed. He wants to continue to advance in leadership, be a mentor, and help others. Now, according to Robins Air Force Base in the pictorial history book, Colonel Thomas even named the installment after his friend, Brigadier General Augustine Warner Robins. Now, if you're interested in learning more about Colonel Thomas, you can visit the Museum of Aviation. And Houston County voters got to hear from candidates running for office this week. The Houston County chapter of the NAACP hosted the forum at First Baptist Church in Warner Robins. Candidates from Perry, Centerville, and Warner Robins had a chance to introduce themselves and talk about different issues. Audience members could even ask questions. Now, the forum allowed Mayor LaRonda Patrick and challenger Fabian Velasquez to pick up where they left off at a previous town hall to talk about the growth in the international city.
What I see is happening is that as the city continues to expand outside, it is completely neglecting its own residents.
I want Warner Robins to have a city center. I want Warner Robins to have community events. I wanted to see Warner Robins free of lawsuits. I wanted to see us as the shining beacon of light in Middle Georgia.
Remember, you can always text the word VOTE to 478-752-1309. We'll send our 2025 election guide right to your phone. All right, before we let you go, let's get a look at the upcoming events coming up around the Robins region. There is a big change coming to downtown Warner Robins. The city is gearing up for their largest Operation Reawaken demolition yet. Next Tuesday, October the 7th, crews will be tearing down a 17,000 square foot structure over on South Commercial Circle. Now, this is part of a long-term effort to revitalize downtown and create new opportunities for the community. That demolition kicks off at 10 a.m. Alrighty, that's a wrap on what's happening throughout the Robbins region this week. If you have a Houston County story you want to share with us, just email us at news@13wmaz.com and make sure you keep coming back each Friday to get all of your Houston County news and the stories that matter to you. Thanks for joining us.